Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Daily Teachings. Just a disclaimer before we start.
MTR.
Everything we discuss is for educational purpose only, not a financial advice. We try to recap the trades we do in our community using our repeatable system that I teach you day in, day out. So that being a disclaimer, let's start. Let's do a quick introduction for anybody who's new to our X accounts or YouTube or new to our community before we proceed. Um, Guys, we trade a repeatable trading system called Ripster EMA cloud system. Whether we are day trading, swing trading, whatever we do, it's based upon our repeatable system and our repeatable market concepts that I try to educate you guys day in and day out. And we trade repeatable setups. We prepare everything in the pre-market. If there's no setup, we do not trade it. So we prepare in the pre-market half an hour before the market open. I'm on the voice live screen share. We're making this plan on what stocks we are going to trade for the day. We make an initial game plan. I make a support resistance pivot, and I have an initial bias that I share with the community. Based upon that bias, based upon that plan, we trade. You can take a screenshot of this game plan and see how the things planned out. I'm going to focus on the plays that I guided the traders, which I thought were really good setups from our game plan, and
MTR.
we will go through that. Pretty good day, decent day today. So
MTR.
this was our
MTR.
game plan.
MTR.
So this was our game plan. In addition to the game plan, we also share something called day 2, day 3 strategy setups in the pre-market. You can see we had a bunch of our day 2, day 3 setups. I did a free webinar on this as well with the traders on X to teach them this, what is the strategy, what is the setup. And I also show you the day 2, day 3 setups every day here on X or on YouTube. So anyways, we will cover our day-to-day setups. Same concept. We make a plan for our day 2, day 3 setups. I make a list with the top focus on the top and lower focus on the bottom. And we have a plan how we are going to trade the day 2, day 3 setups. In addition to that, we also trade futures. We share the future levels with the community traders every day. They can use these levels in EMA cloud system. And if I'm on voice, I guide the traders through the trade setups on the futures as well. We also share the levels for so we share these Mag 7 ETF indices, all these levels for traders to trade. Remember, when the market is trending, these levels come pretty handy, but when market is choppy, these level tells you if the market is going to chop or not. In addition to that, we also trade crypto stocks. Like yesterday, we were trading coin, and we trade these crypto stocks based upon Bitcoin strength and based upon if any crypto is showing strength. In addition to that, we also trade low floats, IPOs. We have all those resources in the community. We have all those watch lists that we trade. We were trading oil stocks as well. We are one of the largest trading communities online, educational focused community, not focused on alerts and on signals. So we have 3-4 option scanners, stock scanners, breaking news alerts, halt, unholds, various flows available in the community. So it's a one-stop shop community. Also, I'm on the voice most of the day. I'm usually voice for the first few hours of the market open, guiding the traders through our setups and guiding through the market. I will show you my timestamp guidance. I cannot really show you what I talk on voice, but we'll go through all the setups and see how we traded today and what were our main setups in the community. Anyways, let's start. So let's start with SPY QQQ. So there's not much to talk about SPY QQQ today because we avoided any trades on market until midday, right? Why was that? Why did we avoid any trades on the market until midday? Because you see that it was not breaking down, it was not breaking up. We tried to short it a little bit, it swiped up, and then we stepped away. So since the morning, there was no really trend to talk of, right? It goes up, goes down. So I told my traders in the community to not to do anything, just step away, right? It's not worth it because the indices were weak, the Mag 7 was weak, a lot of the growth names were selling off. So there was nothing really to do there during the morning. But what happened during the midday, that's when the setup came. The setup that came was cloud fail. You see here there was a cloud fail. And I can show you there was this alert on the MTF fail. So when this fails, right, and the VIX is bouncing. So what was the plan? Let's go see what was the plan on the market today. The plan was pretty simple. watch 20 wicks, use that. Under 20 we will be bullish, over 20 cents we will be bearish on the market. And as you see, the markets they started to break out of that 2020 level during the afternoon. You see this? And go back to my pre-market planning. What I said was under 2020 and 20, so watch those two levels. And so it started to break out. This is your short, this is 512 short, this is a short, this is a short right there. QQQ is a short. You can short trade leverage ETFs or do whatever, but this was a repeatable midday short setup with the VIX strategy. Short under the MTF cloud. So that was the short. Your buy puts here, you can start here and add here, you can buy puts here, add more here. So that was the MTF fail, that was the alert. And from those alerts I usually send it in to the community, and also community was already, the thousands of traders in the community, they were already on top of it, and everybody was on the short side because we already had a plan. And as soon as they see MTF break down, as soon as they saw that VIX is pushing over 20, everybody was already short and trading short on those setups. And you see, if you avoided all day, that's fine. There was no setup all day, but there was the setup midday, and I also alerted those setups in midday. You see the cloud break. Of course, by the time I post on X, it's a little delayed, but you can see that I was showing the traders that VIX is over 20 midday sell-off, and from that we continue to sell, and VIX pushed to 2150. So it's a clockwork, right? VIX pushes from 20 to 21, you short the market, and that was the short. And I continuously told the traders to hold their puts, and I gave them the stops because some traders were trying to long it. That's not what you do. And I gave them the stops over 600 on SPY. I gave the stops on QQQ over 531.50 right here. This is where I was giving them the stops. And from that we flushed, right? We flushed from 599.50 to 596. So you see that overall there was $3 fade on SPY, $3 fade on QQQ. It was easy trade to trade a put option trades, make some profit there, defined risk if you do the lot options. And that was the short setup today. And that was basically it for SPY QQQ. Nothing in the morning. You don't have to trade all the time. You'd have to identify the setups. I always say market has personalities. It has split personalities every day, like the movie Split. You just have to watch what is the personality that is showing up today. Based upon that, your judgment call, you have to take the setups. If the system says you take it, if system doesn't say, you don't take it. You always take A plus B plus setups. You never take a negative setup. What is a negative setup? Negative setup was trying to buy SPY here, buying SPY here. That was a negative setup. Some traders, one of the traders tried to buy this SPY here at 600, and I told him it's a D minus setup. And that trader immediately got out of his long setups, and he saved a couple of grands there because he was trying to go long. And I told him, do not long it. This is the mistake people do, and this is the difference between us, our community, and our system with the other communities. We don't try to just trade anything that dips or bounces. We only trade when our system tells us. Only with our system, with the Ripster EMA cloud system, do we trade. Otherwise, we do not touch anything. All right, let's look at one of our best plays today in the community was APPS. So APPS was earning play. It had a good earnings. It's a historical trade. Those who follow me from a long time, they remember that APPS ran to $100. That was a swing that I gave in $20, and it was our long-term play, and it ran to 100. We traded a few times. After that, the company really fell off. Earnings growth and rate interest increased, so the company really lost its edge, and it continued to sell off and has been a perma bear for a long time. I have to still dig down more into the earnings. I haven't gone deep down, but regardless, I saw the strength, and I saw the strength, and I told the traders that it's a bullish versus 5. The trade versus on apps was to trade versus 5. So that was the game plan, right? So you see that trade versus 5, long over 535. Simple concept. And as soon as I saw it breaking out, I told the traders to long. Look at the game plan. I told to long over 535. Right away you long it, and I'm not going to spend too much time. I did talk about it on X as well, and you can see that it pulled back a little bit. I told the traders it's holding the 640 pullback, so no need to panic. It's holding that pullback, and I gave the target 686. 7 was my first two targets. We hit our 686. By 10:30 we hit our 7 target as well by 10:40, and then I told the traders to hold it. You see it pulls back to the 512 clouds. You don't need to cut it. We did move the stops up to 620, and then we got a flag break. You see that? And then we got the flag break and we pushed to 760. So at that point of time, I told the traders to use the stops as 512s. And after that, it went to a chop, 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 chop. I personally closed it here, but it did reclaim. So some traders in the community got back long and it pushed to 777. So these are the earning plays, guys. You need to analyze the monthly, weekly chart. You see how it is coming back up after huge volume. Its weekly chart is trying to curl up. So these kind of setups can be multi-day. Look at the volume this week. We'll be watching it in coming days for day 2 setups as well. But regardless, huge win on APPS for the community. The traders literally nailed this setup in the community. A lot of the traders took it 300, 400. Josh took it for 300%. And many other traders also took it 280%, and Tanny did really good on it. Bhavik did really good on it. D trades. So a lot of traders held it. The key thing I teach is to hold your winners, right? If you really want to make that big, because you will have losers, but when the winners come, you need to let them work. For example, let's look at the 7 calls. They ran from like 20 cents to 90 cents. So what is that? Your $1,000 down to $3,000, right? Of course, we can lose that $1,000 too, but if you're risking 1,000 to make 4,000, even if you do it 10 times and you're losing 4 times, you'll still be a profitable trader, even if you're losing a little more, because your winners are so big, especially when you're trading options. But you didn't really need to trade options. At the open, you take that 535 breakout, your risk is 520, you're risking 40-50 cents, and you're making almost $1.52 or $2. That's a good 1 risk to 4-5 reward trade. Even with the shares, there's a beautiful trade in the community. Let's go to the next one. All right, so let's look at next earning plays that we did in the community. The other earning play that we did in the community was JBL. So let's see how JBL did for us. So let's look at JBL. So JBL was also an earning play, right? So I made it a red high focus play. Bullish bias to long the pullback. I give this guidance 30 minutes to 20 minutes prior to the market open. So it's not like that everybody's waiting on me. The traders are already executing those setups that I teach every day. So anyways, bullish bias to long pullback, gap and crap under 183, long over that. So as soon as I saw the strength, I told the traders to long. If you were not long, I told them do not swipe, actually wait for a pullback. You need to be ready. Trading at the open, you need to be ready. And then it did give a little bit pullback to 193. You have to risk 189. Initially risk was 186, but if you are adding here, your risk is 189. You don't want to see 193 break. So from that morning long, 200 was my target. We hit 200 target in first amateur candle, and then it gave a pullback. Again, I told the traders we are going to get back to the 200, and then again we hit 200, and then we had a flag break. So then we have a flag break, and then we put the stops at 512, and then it pushed to 203, 204. Our target was 205, but we never hit that target. It did held 512, then it finally broke that 512s. I told the traders to close it, and you could close here, close on the 200. Some traders shorted it. That's the beauty of the earning plays. They go up, they go down, they provide a lot of opportunities. Amazing trade today. A lot of traders held it all the way for the full potential on JBL. So it was really good. The Sophie did 70% there. RGV made $10 on there. That was really, Sophie got out at 204. So it was a really nice trade, JBL, for the whole community. Again, you have, and a lot of them shorted as well, right? Kush was a short on 512. He did pretty good. So you have to trade those setups. So you see how these setups are so good. I mean, you could long it, and then you can also short it once we broke that 512 clause, right? A repeatable setup, right? It's not a random trade we are taking. We are ready for it. We know our EMA cloud system. We know how to trade at the open. We know the 10 AM flags. We know the pullback concepts. You just have to, have enough experience and to trade those. So really proud of a lot of traders who executed this one. Next one, let's look at Tesla. So Tesla was a beautiful trade in the community today. So let's see what was the plan on Tesla, what was going on with the Tesla. So Tesla was another high focus play. Inside day yesterday, when something makes inside day, it would make a move next day, either upside or downside. So Tesla was an inside day setup. Support was 325. The resistance was 328. I told the traders only long if we hold 384 or we push over 388. 1 hour MTF is above, we only long if we break that 1 hour MTFs, right? So what did Tesla do? Tesla rejected. Right away it rejected. Broke under the 1 hour MTF. Remember the 325 level? Broke. That's when it was a short. That's when it was a short. I told the trader it's an MTF short. It's an MTF short here. It's an MTF short here. And then Ghostboard comes in, our in-house option flow expert. He shares the option flow. He's a great tool. He built a great tool. You guys should try it out. So that time we shorted it and it flushed to 320 and then it bounced. You don't buy it, you short these 512 rejects again. I told the traders 512 rejects, watch 322. There was a buyer all day that was holding this 322 level, and once that buyer was gone, there we go on the bear flag breakdown, right? So I told the traders it's still heavy. Once the buyer goes away, we will get our target, and those puts went really nicely. 315 puts I think went a couple 100%. So you saw that with bear flag breakdown reject, still a short. Target I gave traders was 320. We hit our 320, and then it failed. It failed again. You see right here 12, it failed again. So it's again a short. You could short it again. So, and little swipe up, but you could easily trade all the way to 315 on Tesla. You can see pre-market planning, guidance on the voice guidance, floor guidance, no BS, no hindsight. The reason I teach you guys again and again, because I want the traders to, nobody's buying any Tesla in our community. Anybody learning from me, nobody was buying Tesla. Everybody was short Tesla. So Tesla was a beautiful short trade. Let's go to the next one. So Apple was another short today. I just want to point out the power of the Ripster MTF clouds. If you see that how Apple tries to go to MTF, 1 hour rejects, goes to 1 hour MTF, rejects, 1 hour MTF, rejects, 1 hour MTF, rejects. Once this rejected, you could short it because it's a 1 hour MTF. You could put stops up there, and the market is selling off. Remember I showed you we were short on the market? You could short Apple too. I told the traders that your target is this low from a few days back. We hit that lows, we broke that, we even go lower. So that was a decent $2. These were stress-free trades, right? You don't really have to panic. You panic when you chase. You need to be ready for these setups. And you don't need to trade everything, right? We trade so many tickers in the community today, but everybody is trading their fixed focus trades, right? My focus was earning plays, somebody was trading something. I guide everything because thousands of traders in the community, they're trading different things. So my job is to guide my traders, but that was the setup, okay? So anyways, let's go to the next one. So there are literally many other trades in the community. Oklo was a short all day. The community was short on Oklo. Why was everybody short? Because Oklo was, it was on our game plan. Bullish bias no long under 67.50. Once it broke that 67.50, midday short, and it was an MTF short. So Oklo was an MTF short, and it broke this MTFs. I told the traders to short the MTF, and everybody in the community was on top of it. Great trades on Oklo by the whole community. I think a lot of traders were on it. Beautiful calls. Zahid was on it. Elisha was on top of it. Ace. Many traders were short on it. HS. So this is this is how we teamwork works, right? A lot of names, and not only it was Oklo, it was the whole list of the hot stocks. We call it hotties. NNE, SMR, Oklo, RGTI, all those were hotties, and they were all weak today. So Oklo provided a great setup for everyone to trade. Next one we're going to look at is called Core Weave. So let's see what Core Weave was doing here. So Core Weave was I was personally not focused on Core Weave, but it was our day two setup. You see I highlighted as a red. There's a daily breakout setup on Core Weave. Let's look at that. So let's see here. You see that Core Weave is a weekly chart. You can see that there's the daily breakout setup right here on CoreWeave. A lot of traders in the community were already on top of CoreWeave in the morning. In the pre-market plan, only our traders were ready. You see Fahad showed the pre-market flag. SK Trades talk about that. Rajesh mentioned the breakout. Our senior traders, D Trades. So everybody, the whole community was on CoreWeave today, right? ABCD was on top of it. He alerted everybody about the 170 calls. But what CoreWeave did was it shook out some traders in the morning. That's fine. But then came the repeatable 512 curl setup. Mikshu was on top of it. And that 512 curl setup is where you long it. You know, if your options, you still have to watch the options. They're really spready. You still have to use the risk law of this candle, play the curl. I did send out few alerts on the breakout on CoreWeave. Once we broke out the opening highs, that was a long breakout trade. And then we also broke out of the flag on all-time highs. So I'm trying to keep the recap under. I'm trying to keep the recap under 20 minutes. So I just want to talk about day two setups here. Let's see. We had a bunch of day two setups. Let's take a look. So the day two setups we had Adobe, Circle, Roku, Oracle. So let's look at all of them quickly. So let's look at Adobe first. So Adobe, the day two setup was a short. It was again MTF 1 hour short, repeatable setup. A lot of traders in my community just focus on the day three. This was actually a day three. So you short that one. Then we had Roku, which was a gap and crap. Right here at the 512s, you could crap it all day long. This was your signal to short by the puts. This was signal to short by the puts. And we also had Oracle, which was another day three setup. When the market tanks, a lot of these recent runners give up. And you could see the Oracle from the 512 break faded all the way back. There's just so many plays were in play today. It was just insane. Let's look at PLTR. So let's see what PLTR was doing here. So PLTR was on our plan today. Let's take a look. PLTR, see here, PLTR. The bears, the one firm said that it could face a competitive pressure as OpenAI wins a deal. So, we were bullish to neutral, no longs under 140-150. So let's see here. But once the PLTR broke that 140-150, it was bearish, right? So you see that how we pointed out that level on PLTR. So I pointed this level, look carefully, 140-150. What did it do? It tried to bounce, could not push over 140-150, and it faded all day and then get the MTF short as well. So that was an easy day to PLTR short as well. Today was a lot about these short setups. I mean, here we had a bunch of other trades. Boeing news came, a lot of traders scalped that Boeing news. Oil play was going, those were good. Indo running from MTF clouds. When you trade repeatable strategy, the things get much easier. All right, I just want to quickly talk about one of the recent. I don't really post too many swing setups there because I'm working on our investment research branch of our company. But I just want to talk about Reddit. I just want to show the traders that if they really focus on good setups, they can find a lot of good trades for swing trading or long-term trading. Or you see that. What did I say on May 29th? One of the lagging setups, top swing setup versus 105. What that mean? That means your risk is 105. Even if you bought it right there, that was your $6 risk, right? But you wait for the pullback. This 105 is your level of risk. I pointed out here. Or you could risk $100, whatever feels good to you. And that was a Reddit plan I gave back on May 29th. And if you see the weekly chart now carefully, after that, it pulled, retest that level. On the weekly chart, broke out of the MTF and pushed to 140, 143. So even if you risked like say $6, $7, $8, you still made, 3-4 times your money. And that's how you trade. You don't have to put your whole portfolio in Reddit. Let's say you buy 100 shares, right? You're risking $800-900. By the time it hits 140, you are making $3,000. So that's kind of risk reward you need to trade. So that was a Reddit, pretty good swing idea shared. A lot of traders did good on that and commented me in the DM. So just wanted to recap that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.